Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to another episode of The Week in Marvel Avengers Alliance. I'm your host, Napalm Dawn, and today we are here for the Chase Stein edition on April 3rd. Happy April Fool's Day, everybody, 2 days ago. Hope you enjoyed it. No major pranks played on you. So, what are we going to look at today? Well, this week's episode will focus on Chase Stein, the sales that we currently have going on in the store, and we're also going to take a look at the improvements to PvP that are upcoming, thanks to a link to me from a friend of the channel, Jimmy. He provided me with a link over here to some upcoming changes, and we're going to discuss them because they're going to be pretty sweeping. So first, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have in the store and what is on sale. And apparently there's some little hidden goodies in here that I didn't even notice. So first up is, of course, the high-tech gauntlet that is part of the Wayward set. Oh yeah, by the way, today's background music is brought to you by 2 hours of dark music by Adrian Von Ziegler, and a link will be up in the description of the video as usual. So we have the high-tech gauntlet. It's part of the Wayward set. This version, which you can also research after getting 4 stars of mastery in every mission of the Spec Ops, and it costs 16 arcane components. If you caught the live stream over on Twitch earlier today, you'll see that it improperly says that it's runed metal that is used, but we'll go into that. It does poison, iso corruption, and bleeding, and you gain a chance to follow up with exploit attrition and finest hour if you have other set pieces, which is a phenomenal little bonus over there because it's like the golden copis with an ionic hammer. It just, yeah, it's really, really, really nice, and I think I'm going to be pushing towards it. We have the Voodoo Staff on sale, which I believe was the PvP weapon the season after the Beyond Corp can opener. I do have this one that I earned back then. So is this worth a purchase? Well, it is ranged, it is magic, it is Ethereal Strike that avoids avoidance and incorporeal effects, it does neutralize, so it shuts down bruisers and other items, and it does Spirit Field, which says incoming area damage reduced by 30%. So right off the bat, is this worth a buy, yes or no? I'm going to say yes. It is definitely worth a buy, as it is a really good stat stick on defense and offensive. It's a nice passive buff. Nothing else in the game does this currently. And if you stack this with things like magic warding and debuff lowering, like Dark Fortitude and everything, you are really tackling a lot of what is out there. And if you, say, protect against melee, but are afraid of then the AoE or the AoE range to counter that, like, say, Molly's Van, like if you're running the Hugins Eye and then the Van is still doing you in, the Voodoo Staff would, of course, help with that. We still have the Meanie Beanie, which looks like a really happy yet decapitated Pikachu. The Poliwag Protector, it looks like Frog from Chrono Trigger. We have the Kitty Cap. We have sandboxes on sale. And look at what we have over here that I didn't notice until literally 2 minutes ago. The former PvP items are on sale. They include the helmet, the cornerstone, and the brazier. I believe the helm is, the helm is, oh god, yeah. Okay, well, whatever, I didn't mean to do that, but okay, that's fine. So the accursed helms are the mediums, the cornerstones are the defensive, and the brazier is the offensive. We still have the knocking, the close, we're fine. So, alright, let me get my make money bitches going. We gotta pull Invisible Woman out because she just officially hit her cap. So let's put somebody else in there. And we will go ahead and get going full screen over here. So there's Chase. We're going to leave him up. We're going to leave Shitterstar up because it's a scrapper daily. and we're going to take those guys out for a spin around the block. We're going to leave Kuruth out because she is I got to convert her to a scrapper. So who are we going to put in there? Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so checking on PvP, should hopefully still be at 1462, and alright, well, took a loss over there. I'll have to counter that a little later. If you take a look over at the past broadcast over on Twitch, you'll see me recruiting Chase today live, and you'll also see some PvP that I did, including a loss and then some victories. So this is the gauntlet that you can research yourself if you get all 4 stars in the Spec Ops. And this is the Staff of Return that you can research yourself if you don't want to farm for the drop. I happen to get the drop. Notice here that it says 16 pieces of arcane component. However, if you go to the lab, it says that it requires 16 runed metal. This is a misprint. It does not. And I was actually freaking out for a while when I thought that, in fact, it was going to require the room. Then I was like, that's not fair. You can't get that to drop anymore. So I'm going to pop over here to team. I'm going to switch Kuruth to her scrapper. And we're going to take her out for a spin on the Scrapper Daily, which was a perfect day to recruit Chase Stein, because he gets the level on a Scrapper Daily. So we don't want to leave her in Scrapper. I'm going to leave her in Bruiser for PvP bonuses. So let's take a look at these guys over here in mission pretty quick, just to level Chase again. And I'll get her switched back. And then we'll take a look at what we have going in the upcoming PvP changes, because they're pretty big, and I can see them spoiling quite a lot of teams. So today's daily is against Loki and what I like to call the Loki bots. So this is what I had before, but I'm going to now switch this out to Kuruth. And of course, you can Sif with her ISO is of course really good for things like this. So over on the live stream, you can see me go through Spec Ops Mission 2 on my way to fighting the Ultron bots and recruiting Chase live earlier today. So I've got Shitterstar, I've got Chase, and I have Kuruth. I'm always going to open up with Gladiatorial Carnage. Give myself the extra turn. And now this is my first time that I have used Spider-Woman since converting her to Kuruth. So, all enemies intimidated, Rune of Fear. Okay, we will go with that. Man, my last PvP offense, I barely survived with just Iron Fist going up against Kuruth, because of the stupid magic and the exploding runes and null. I mean, usually that team is not a problem for me, but every now and then you get unlucky and you get a shit ton of damage done. If you're looking for an easy way to go through Scrapper dailies, you can convert Nightcrawler to his Scrapper uniform and get his Mystic Shroud ISO. And then it's like having the Mystic Stick Up. Ooh, that's gonna shut down Loki nicely. So here's the fun of Chase. Chase looks like he's a giant spoiler. Those were counters, and in the middle of countering Loki, he shut down what he was wanting to do, and now Loki had to stop. So I'm gonna open up with Mojo Skewer, which does good damage, and then here's a little piece of trivia about Shitterstorm. Shitterstorm and Gorgon are some of the only characters in the game whose follow-ups are AoE. So that, remember that. If you want to do a lot of passive damage and hit people who are not the targets, Gorgon and Shitterstar are phenomenal. So, we've tenderized Loki, and if you're ready for it, watch what's going to happen. People often underestimate this about Shatterstar, but this is a monster hit. Look at that, 22k. And Shatterstar is not one of my played characters, so he's not particularly buffed up with, you know, ISOs and everything like that. Oh, hey! Look at that. An infiltrator. Beautiful. So we're gonna get Murder World survivors here because of Shatterstar and Chase. So it's, you know, somewhat of a decent bonus over there. I always say that his hands look like the old toy from when you were a kid, Hulk hands. That, you know, you put them on your hands and they made that sound like you were smashing things. He also reminds me of the game Evolution, way back on the Dreamcast. So there's Orphanage and Murder World survivors. And he's apparently ready to be trained again. So let's go ahead and tab over and do that. I have Havoc training, so he's going to require 15 minutes. And let's do some PvP to counter that loss that I took. Hopefully it'll just be one quickie and done. So you'll notice I'm running the Manvatara now. That's a really good counter to a lot of the protection and counters that we have up now. I've switched off of the Rungu for this. Alright, so we have a Cheesy Blaster agent. We have Kuruth. And we have Null. And my agent goes before Null and after the Blaster. So this should be a relatively quick and easy win. So there's the taunt from Molly. There's Black as Void, but his turn's going to be over. So, unfortunately, that does not give my agent an extra turn, but I go before Null, which is always handy. Poor Molly's not going to be protecting now, which is okay. And Iron Fist is going to jump in on Kuruth, so that shuts her down. And at this point, this is always the interesting decision. I could open up with the Manvatara, or I could go with the Black as Void. If I Black as Void, it will shut down Null's pre-counters. If I go with the Manvatara, I have a chance of shutting down all, you know, Null and Kuruth, depending on the debuffs that they get. The reason why I'm running the Manvatara is because the staggered is guaranteed. So if the enemy agent is running the eye, which he is, it enables melee to hit him. So that's what I'm going to do. And there's Combo Breaker again on Kuruth. So now there's a lot of free damage done on her. She's hurt. He's just going to be constipated. Ooh. See, that's the risk you take when you don't Black as Void him early. But more on that in a moment. Once we get into the changes to PvP, we need to talk about him because he's one of the people. So she does a Fear Me, which is totally not unexpected. And he's still trying to Fatal Fist. So that's of course the risk with not doing the Black as Void, but let's see what debuffs they got. Well, nobody's protecting. They can't dodge. Let's see what Null took. Null took Cornered, so he can't protect either. And he just took the Staggered, but he took Dizzy. Okay, so Punisher Van. And we need to get rid of Kuruth really, really quickly. Just in case. Yeah, so this is a guaranteed victory at this point. It would be completely impossible for me to lose at this point. So the reason why I was running the Manvatara, you'll see over here, once I go to hit Cheesy Trenchcoat, you'll notice that normally he would be immune to melee, but he's not. And that's because of Staggered. So if you're finding... Ooh, 47 hit. 47k on a blaster, that's big. If you are finding that the eye is bothering you, get a weapon that does Staggered. It is guaranteed to fix the problem. Anything that causes Staggered causes it at 100%. So, apparently I had taken 2 losses in there. Oh, I might have to fix... And that's Deathwing. Might have to do that a little bit later. I'll have to fix another one. So, alright, let's go into the changes that we are seeing here in PvP that are coming up, and let's talk about that. Because one of them actually does talk about our friend Null over there. So a link will be to this in the description. The biggest things is that quick actions and free actions are going to be attacked. The reason why is that it says that we understand that it slows fights down considerably and makes some fights uneven. I think this is bullshit. I don't agree with that. I mean, if it slows fights down, so what? I mean, it was the way that you used to guarantee that your defensive team would do the right thing or would properly funnel into the right weapon or the right choices. With the weather control device, of course, that was turned on its head, but I just don't agree with that should be the reason why. So they're now going to do quick actions and a change to them called free actions. For example, free actions will only be affected by the cooldown. Free actions may be performed multiple times each round. There's no restrictions except for their own cooldowns. For example, Enchantress's Charm and Alluring Voice will be free actions. Class changes like Vision and Omega Sentinel and so on. Mode changes like CSR. The second and ongoing phase will be to evaluate existing actions to determine if they should be quick or free. That means some quicks will become quick or free. For example, She-Hulk's Burst of Speed will be free, Heimdall's Vigilance will be free, Squirrel Girl's Eating Her Nuts will be free. So this is going to be very, very interesting, and I'm not too sure that I'm going to thoroughly agree with these. Beta Ray build, damage adjustment for some actions. My guess is it's going to go up. Cable, they're finally going to fix his double dancing bug. Cannonball, damage adjustments. My guess is up. Kinetic field will clear and prevent debuffs and grant him breakthrough. Cleared for takeoff will grant wind up. Cannonball needs these. Chase Stein, AI improvements. I don't know what they mean. How do we know really what his AI is? There's limited scope available for him. Crystal, damage adjustment. I'm going to say it goes up. Guardian Drax's Bleeding Heart will also apply bleeding. I'm not too sure what's going on there. Enchantress, AI improvements. Again, I don't see her enough to know what this could be. Groot, Tree Hugger will no longer protect area attacks. That's nice. Well Rooted will be renamed to We Are Groot. It's nothing. Phoenix, damage adjustments. Improvements to Death Rebirth. Improvements, so this remains to be seen. Ghost Rider, improvements to Infernal Contract. Iron Fist, AI improvements. Damage adjustments for some actions. AI improvements for Hafe. Does that mean he will properly use a level 9 sometimes? Wolverine, improvements to Healing Factor. Don't know. Kazar, AI improvements. Fix known issues with Catastrophic being protected. How about Manvatara being protected? Let me point out something to you people here that may be watching this. Manvatara says that because it is temporal, it avoids protection effects. Let's just point that out over here. Let me pull it up and show you. Look at how it's like a Christmas tree. Does not trigger protect abilities. Bullshit. If the agent is capable of protecting, he protects against Manvatara. And he eats it himself. Fix that while you're at it. Carolina, AI improvements. Reduces the length of time Majestian takes to gain. I think this is a graphical fix, because this is a long thing when it happens. AI improvements, again, I don't know her is done by the AI. Luke Cage, AI improvements, damage adjustments for some actions. Infrastructure and Meteor Swarm will be removed when Luke Cage is KO'd. Thank God. This is something that needs to be done. Because he could just sit there and get one round of World Breaker out and get that Meteor Swarm, and then if he dies but the rest of the people are magic or use magic items, yeah, Breaker of Worlds will no longer counter subtle buff debuff. Yes, thank you, God. And Stealthy. How about will not counter Stealthy? Breaker of Worlds will counter with Ragnarok and Sokkum. Okay. Molly, AI... Oh boy. This might mean that she'll be randomized rather than always taunt and then tantrum. But once she's tantruming, I think she's random enough. But Temper Tantrum will drain stamina with each action performed. The drain increases until she's forced to recharge. So I think this means as she goes further into Tantrum, the stamina drain will stack. This will really hurt her ability to get around the Hugins Eye. If you have not staggered a Hugins agent and you're forced to van the agent down, this will help prevent against that. Nova, AI improvement. She-Hulk. Curse runes will be removed with... Yes, thank you. And we have Deathlock coming up pretty soon, who looks like Black Cable Fixer. He looks like Cyborg from Teen Titans meshed with Cable, meshed with Fixer. Alright, so there you go, folks. There's the week in Marvel Avengers Alliance. We have some PvP changes coming up, and there's going to be a lot of shaking up there with the amount of Kuruth and Null, the worthy defenses that are going on there. Molly looks like she's going to take what I would probably consider a nerf. You know, if her stamina drain goes up, I don't know that I agree with that. There's a lot of brilliant Molly counters out there right now. There's Heimdallr. There's She-Hulk's Objection. There is Kuruth following up and exploding her runes and making other people on her team punch her for attacking. There is Bleeds. There is Exhaustion. I mean, the weather control device has flipped PvP completely on its head. You know, 2-3 stacks of bleeds, internal bleeding, the GG prototype, the Hugins Eye, the T-Bolt glove, Red Hulk. There's enough that I don't think Molly needs to be prevented against. I mean, I'm running Molly on offense, and I know what hurts her. Honestly, Haif's immunity to debuffs hurts her. I mean... There I am, 65%. Most of these, almost all of these are on Ds compared to O, but... Yeah, so if Molly was overpowered and didn't have counters, this would be like 80 some odd %. So there you go, folks. There's the week in Marvel Avengers Alliance. There is the changes coming up. What do you think? What do you think about the worthy ones? What do you think about the Molly ones? Do the Molly ones make you happy? Do the worthy ones make you happy? They make me happy. And my... wow, another loss. My opinion is still out on the whole free action, quick action thing. That has me a little scared, and it might make it so a lot of defenses have major issues going forward from here. So, take care, everybody, and have a good holiday Easter weekend.